Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Friday. Pardon me. It's August 2nd, 2024. You may hear a slight noise in the background. That's my fan. I was going to try to work without it, but I just can't right now. It's hot. It is hot. So I hope that you can bypass it. Eventually it fades to the background, or hopefully you don't notice it at all. Hope you're doing well today. It just got finished raining here. It was a pretty steady rain out of nowhere, actually, but now it looks like the sky's all cleared up suddenly, so that's interesting. It's a quick little shower. Let's see what we got today. Ooh, Ace of Wands. Okay, starting off with power. Is this about to be some thunderstorm, some thunder? Oh. Oh, wow, that's funny. Wow, that was perfectly on cue. Thank you, Spirit. Well, maybe it's not done raining then. I'm not sure, but the skies look clear where I'm sitting, where I can see. What's the significance of that? Maybe something coming. Well, that's actually what the Ace of Wands could be. Is like a sudden change, a breakthrough, an epiphany, an opportunity that strikes out of nowhere. Maybe a jolt of energy or enthusiasm, regeneration of passion for something, or someone. Like that sudden rush of what do they call it? What is that? Dopamine? Something like that. A sudden high. But in this case, it's not so much, it could be sudden, but it's something astounding, whether it be the magnitude of it or when it hits you, maybe where it hits you, whatever it is, maybe something that comes in a package that you I just had a slight raunchy thought. I'm gonna say it too. I likened it to when you are surprised by a man's endowment or anatomy. You know, like particularly sometimes when you see like a small guy or a short guy or whatever, like you just don't particularly expect them to, you know, be packing, and lo and behold, they are. Surprise, surprise. Side note. But this could be something along the lines of what we call BDE. Whether you possess that energy, okay. But here's the temperance. Wow. Whatever it is, it incites a great deal of jealousy and competition. So, damn, hold up. Yeah, and you know what it's giving me now that I said that? See, I never say anything for nothing. It's giving somebody that somebody that on the outside is is feels to have like a very benevolent energy, or very caring, considerate, kind. Like, more or less they have a gentle spirit, let's say that. And that doesn't mean that they're necessarily soft, especially if we're talking about a man or a masculine, but it's just something comforting and secure about them in essence and spirit. And then here is the wild side. So it's like some duality here where you could be pleasantly surprised, let's just say, about someone that, or something. It doesn't have to be, it's coming up the way that it is, but it could be even an opportunity that almost gives you the impression that it's going to be predictable, or maybe even boring, or like you wouldn't really expect too much excitement out of the Temperance card. It literally is about patience and moderation and self-control and all, like really grounded spiritual ideals, and characteristics if it's the embodiment of a person. And then, but the secret here is that somebody is just as capable of being comforting or providing security, maybe even protection, as they are of knocking your socks off. Again, people, place, or thing. But I love how it's coming up as a person right now. Yeah, and it's like, let's see, the five of swords, first of all, the 5 is about change. So it could be, first of all, something that, like I said, you're not used to or you're not expecting. Like, you might be considering, say, a potential mate or a job, or even the consideration of like a spiritual path, or because that could be this too, now that I'm looking at it like that. Like, it could be you answering a certain calling to follow some spiritual inclination, to do something in the spiritual in a spiritual frequency, whatever that is. It doesn't even have to be like religious or anything like that, but there's something about that here, that there could be an opportunity that comes up that you just, you may think you may be considering it to be something that's pretty conventional, like religion. Like, okay, well, if I'm being called to be a preacher or an evangelist or a spiritualist, a tarot card reader, a prophet, or whatever it is that you're doing, being taken to some healing magnitude, that it has to be very constructive, like within a certain bounds or confines, or within even a box. But you may, again, be pleasantly surprised to discover that you have full range of creativity, and actually you've been called to whatever that expression is because you have the capacity to take it, expand it in the most creative way that is outside of the box, and that ultimately would make a bigger impact, or even draw other people to it, or draw something about magneticism with the Ace of Wands. So whether that's a profession, a job, one of your own ideas that you may have even written off once upon a time, like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about doing that a long time, and you're like, I'll get to it, or you don't really expect much of it, and then you find out that as soon as you get into it, it's like the thrill of your life in some amazing way. Like, I love that for whomever it is. But this 5 of Swords, what is this really? Let's see what it's looking at. Oh, here's the community impact. So yeah, of course, I was going to say, like, you can't really get around the haters when because this is also like not just supreme creativity, but also the confidence that is either a contributing force to that creativity or a result of it. That's something that empowers you to be even more creative or be even more of whatever it is you are. In this case, the Temperance card is about alchemy. So it's about bringing something to the substance of the 3D that once upon a time may have been intangible, like an idea, a vision, a dream, a goal, a fantasy, even hell, a person, a relationship. Like I said, could be the man of your dreams wrapped up in this Ace of Wands, and they could be the full package, or the passion that you've been missing or that you didn't even know you were missing, wrapped up in something that seems very simple. So here comes the hate train, regular shit of energy that wants to challenge that, maybe even try to steal your creativity or somehow like exploit your impact, maybe even to just mooch off of it is actually what I'm getting. Energies that can see you beaming a mile away pretty much in whatever regard this brings, whatever this invokes, and either want to come to create interference, destroy it, want to take a little piece of the pie, or be connected so that they can get in that inflow of prosperity, or just want to swipe it from you altogether, or perhaps all the above. D. But here is E, where you are not even here for it. Like, you're blocking all efforts of everything that I just said, simply by way of staying focused on whatever this grand opportunity is in the first place. Not even being concerned with any measure of competition or interference. We got the new moon coming up on Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. So this could mean that folks have already, started to amp up their work on that occasion. But I feel, honestly, especially with the 5 and the 7 of Swords, I feel like this time around is a big rude awakening, and that might also be what the 2 of Swords is about. Is not only is this force field of creativity and power protected in the spirit here, you're also in defense mode, and not in a way that is detrimental to yourself and to all, because sometimes, unfortunately, just the projection of this energy, to our psyches, to make us feel like, oh, it's a new moon, oh, it's a full moon, I gotta batten down the hatches, and they up to no good again, whoever they is, right? Just the projection of that sometimes can cause an interference psychologically for you to be in the opposite of manifestation mode, for you to be resistant and even subtly so in fear, and ultimately create your force field to be a repellent for something that obviously is quite attractive, or for whatever good things are attractive to it, I should say. So sometimes that could even be the projection where those that only have that power left in their arsenal, at this point, that's probably the most impactful tool they have left is projection, is to kind of like use your energy against you to make you run back the many cycles of times where you may actually have needed to protect yourself a very definite way, or to be on defense mode, or where maybe you weren't, and there was an effect for that as well, maybe even an impact that you incurred. But I feel like something about this is like, it's something phony here. And to me, it feels like more or less a last ditch effort to incite you, perhaps, to psych yourself out of being in the position of reception. Because not only do we have the new moon, the Leo new moon, we also have the Lion's Gate, which is already open. I haven't talked about that much, but partially because I just wanted to let it be. You know, I sometimes when you give certain transits and aspects too much life, that ultimately gives people invitation to get active. I mean, they probably were going to be anyway, so it doesn't matter too much, but I know what it is. Hopefully you know what it is, and if you don't, now you do know. Of course, Lionsgate is this year 888, August 8th, 2024, but it's already open, and we know that that's a supremely magnified manifestation portal, which I feel most of what comes through this year is really a lot of what we already did the work for during the last, what we already set intentions for last Lionsgate, and what we've been more or less working for and cultivating throughout this entire year. So that's probably the reason why whatever activation and intentions may be initiated already or revving up to be are kind of senseless at this point, because it's like those that are still in this frequency are probably a timeline or two behind, if not a dimension or two behind, because that's we off that. We already, what's about to come through now is already manifested. It's already done. We're already on some new shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, and this year is really important in many ways, not just the Lionsgate, but generally speaking, is really important for the setup of the next decade or two. So that's the bigger focus. And like I said, what you've already called in to be a resource or even just a seed in this season is what ultimately is the foundation for that forward manifestation. But the power that you harness now to fuel it and to like underwrite it is important because of the longevity that it stands to project. You know, it's not just like this year to next. We talking about next 10, 20 years, perhaps. You know, so there, no wonder there would be that much greater of a Hail Mary, you know, to hurl to get you to kind of like be distracted or be so defensive that you're not even on your post, on your job, or focusing your energy where it counts most, because the stakes are so much higher now and there's so much more to gain than there even was just last year, when they probably put in a hell of a lot more work, and that could have been a year that was actually quite impactful, you know, between last year and all the way back, certainly to 2020. Hell, even much before that, because I was reflecting myself that I wasn't even aware of what the Lionsgate was until 2019 or 2020. I think 2019 I started to be more enlightened about that. Definitely 2020 for sure. But imagine all the years before that, of which people have been playing in our energetic face, literally manifesting off of our energy while they divert our attention otherwise. and, you know, consider the time lost, figuratively speaking, not actually, by way of our ignorance, you know, or just a lack of, not ignorance in a rude way, but, you know, in a offensive way, but really just a lack of knowledge, just not knowing. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that wasn't always aware of what the Lion's Gate even was. This could even be that energy here with the Two of Swords, like a lack of knowledge, not knowing, or missing information, not really knowing what to do with yourself, how to protect yourself, how to be defensive or offensive, if you should be one or the other, you know, like really being at a crossroads. But certainly the energy in which many would probably hope for us to be in this year to really make a big impact is just not so, you know. And even back to the beginning, this could be you packing this big punch to the surprise of obstinate forces and adverse energies, that they may still revere you to sit in this frequency here, like ignorant, unaware, unprotected with the Two of Swords, even though I never understand how you could think somebody with two swords in their hand is a sitting duck or vulnerable. Like, all she got to do is get the swinging, and somebody's going to get sliced and diced. But I digress. Either way, it won't stop somebody that thinks they have an advantage at the Five of Swords, and God forbid the Ten of Swords, you know, literally having an advantage to try to make a move, right? But the arsenal is not quite as powerful as it used to be, simply because you're more aware of yourself. They may not be aware of your power. Again, as I said, with the Ace of Wands and the Temperance card, somebody could revere you still as some, oh, she's so nice. She wouldn't hurt a fly. She's such a benevolent creature. Oh, she's naive. She'll let anybody in. All she wants to do is be love and light. You know, all you have to do is come with an apology, a puppy dog face, and a sob story, and she'll be willing to embrace you and forgive you and let you on in. And it's like, okay. if that's what you think. Angels are fierce creatures as well, and that's what the Temperance is. You ever heard of Archangel Michael? He is nothing, pardon me, to play with. And it ain't all love and light. Not when it comes to enemies of the Lord. Now, when it's on behalf of the Most High, everything that's done is in love and light, and it's all sanctioned. Because if you see Archangel Michael and you're not on the side of justice and truth, that energy has all authority and jurisdiction to smite you, perhaps even smite you right off the face of the earth. And ultimately it'll come down to you pretty much falling on your own sword because of your resistance to the truth and to the power of the divine in its purest form. So a lot of times these energies feel like they're getting one up on you, but they're fighting look at this, like that's a much higher power at play. And here it all ties in, as I said, thinking that you are the point of competition, you are the enemy, you are the target, until the divine steps in and it's like, whoa, I ain't mean nothing by it. But by then it's already too late. For some, it might already be too late. Because like I said, some people still wanted to throw that last Hail Mary to see what they could glean from this transit, because it's so tempting. I mean, it's Leo energy, which packs so much power, solar energy. but to try to manifest through the Lion's Gate off of the new moon, off of, thinking, the Mercury retrograde might be an advantage. Like so many things that people just think they can get away with the Seven of Swords right now that is already defeated before it even starts, is the point. Look at where the Seven of Swords is lined up. It's like where Archangel Michael, the Temperance Angel, looks like it's just pouring up a drink. It's actually sharpening its swords. Damn. Oh, got one. What's that? King of Swords. I haven't done a little pyramid in a long time. I'll try. It's certainly probably not going to be too straight, but we'll see. And the Empress. What's under here? Ooh. Hermit card. Some people need to just mind their business. Go inside and find something safe to do. And literally go inside internally, get to the truth of who they are, and submit that truth to Source. In a word, repentance, because this is the Death Angel. It's really not, life is really not for play right now. It's just really not. And this is the Page of Swords, as usual, is an energy, once again, that's just looking in all the wrong places to be enlightened. And the only place truly to find that purely is within, by way of that Hermit card. And the Empress, what's the Empress speaking to? Well, again, this could, as usual, be that toxic masculinity, feeling like it's just clever enough. Because, see, the King of Swords, justifiably in the upright, is very clever, very intelligent. But with the Seven of Swords, over top of that, it's more so cleverness veering into the lane of cunning, where you use your intelligence for with ulterior motive to even be deceptive or conniving. And that could be what this is, that energy wanting to challenge this supreme Empress energy, this divine feminine energy that still refused to submit to it. Once again, at that Two of Swords, seeing it as some subservient species, or subservient, or what's the other word? Inferior species. Like they're the superior. And this is not all masculines, of course, obviously. But this is an ode to the energies that are operating in this frequency, that still feel they have the upper hand. They are entitled to the favor, or will take liberty to steal it. As I was trying to find a more diplomatic word, but to apprehend it, I suppose, where they can. And it's really like jealousy, but which is a derivative of insecurity. That's where all of this is coming from. Because it's the energy of toxic masculinity that feels like if it can't be validated as dominant and supreme and superior exclusively, then it's uncomfortable. it has to be exclusive or nothing at all. There's no such thing as sharing that energy, that frequency for them. Even if they give the appearance that it is, like, you know, for the purposes of, what do you call it, like political correctness, you know, to appear to be diplomatic, to appear to be fair and honorable and with the times. But this is an energy that feel as it is. So the King of Swords is feeling inferior to this supreme energy of the divine feminine that is showcased here as the Empress. I mean, I don't know. For whatever reason, they've justified it in all their brains as to why it makes sense, but still not smart enough to realize that that path is a dead end. So, you know, I don't know. As we've already seen the Death card, it's like there's not much to be materialized from that energy at this time. Here's the 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is about family, or, well, soul tribe. Doesn't have to be like blood family, but it could be. What's on the bottom? What you said about? What the heck is this? Is the depression about? Somebody feeling left out of this? Well, I mean, come on. There's no sympathy for that in this energy that we're talking about, because you've only ostracized yourself at this point with the 5 of Cups. And that, you know what it's saying? It's a lot of, that's going to be the karma of a lot of these characters when they look up and realize that all their tricks and schemes have led to nothing much but, you know, them being by themselves, or having such a slim picking of the litter for partnership that it's not even satisfying. As a matter of fact, it's quite depressing. And maybe even getting exactly what they want, you know, as they want to always keep trying to depreciate high value feminine energy down to size, you know, to cut them down to size. They might actually get what they want and be stuck with energies that actually are inferior, you know, that definitely are not high value. So that they may have created their own reality in that regard, and then have that to live with and see what that truly feels like. Because a lot of men have had it real easy. They've been able to kind of like establish themselves on the pedestal of supremacy and superiority, but with a great deal of support and still borrowing from the energy of supreme feminines. Even in their beat down, depleted state, there's still a great deal of value there that more or less has been taken for granted, because people in this energy where they're very insecure, but actually, you know, also have an inflated ego at the same time, would dare not admit to the equal give and take in the 6 of Pentacles of the masculine and feminine force in their life or otherwise. They've somehow, like I said, found some way to justify their perspective of life. And a lot of guys really don't even truly know what it feels like to either be on their own without the support or the element of advantage and connection to whatever feminine energies of value anyway that they're connected to. They don't even really know what that feels like. You know, they've never really felt that depression. You know, because a lot of us haven't even really known our worth So we've continued to give, even without being appreciated, sometimes without even really being asked, if we're honest. So it kind of has created an imbalance where masculine energies have felt the impact and the advantage of having that force in their favor without having to really acknowledge it. And in some cases, choosing not to acknowledge it, being very intentional about not acknowledging it. And in that case, have probably even drank their own Kool-Aid to believe that it's disposable, let's say, you know? So now to actually experience life void of this 10 of Cups here at the 5, but still seeing it happen though, because that's what it's giving us. Like, this is like the outside looking in with this King of Swords, that's being an observer, back to that Page of Swords, of what's possible, what potential there is out in the world, and healthy partnerships, what they may have even have been privy to in a different frequency. And that's going to cause a very different effect, one that many have never known before. And remember, all this sword energy is very emotionally detached until it's not, until it hits you home where it hurts and where you never intended to feel it, and there's no way to get around it. That's the fate for a lot of folks that insist on misogyny and toxic masculinity, narcissism, sociopathy. Yeah. While others are experiencing new opportunities and bliss. It's two different worlds. What's on the bottom? Wow, and bliss. Bam. And what it's given is that, you know how they be calling like men that are sensitive and, you know, that are empathetic and respectful of women most times. Now, sometimes guys, and here it is, back to the beginning, right? Sometimes guys do be a little bit ridiculous in their submission to women, and it does, you know, give a bit imbalanced, or as they call it, simping. You know, like, this is what the energy of those that have had a reverence for balanced partnership, respect, love, reciprocity, they were revered to be simps. You know, we know the energy and of that perspective in the lowest frequency, where it's coming from, again, this mouth of machismo that's not really valid. You know, it's speaking from inflated ego and tainted emotions ultimately. But this actually is the energy that, as simple as they may have seemed, is going to be privy to this experience of happiness and fulfillment at a soul level. And ain't nobody gonna be laughing then. Back to what I said, it's like the package that you didn't expect. Like, this is that. This guy in this package literally bringing all this, darn it, all this happiness, and you had no idea. Like, somebody that you never would have, you know, maybe it's not even really your so-called type, as we say. You know, maybe somebody you never really considered to be your, you know, someone that would arouse your interest, you know, to enliven your passion, you know, to light your flame or spark your fire or whatever. And it's going to be exactly that energy to sweep you off your feet. And operating in the frequency of which by others, you know, of whom maybe have the projection of like the alpha male or that superior specimen of man. I forget what I was going to say, but it's the contrast of that. You know, to their surprise, those that they punch down in their own species and across the chromosomes are the ones that are actually going to be having the life that they're going to ultimately wish they had the courage to seek. I know this is crooked. I'm so mad because we were doing great, I think, anyway. All right, so the Sun card, I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that in terms of happiness and pleasure and prosperity, growth, healthy relationships, new beginnings that have great promise of harvest and prosperity, productive partnerships. If I didn't say that already, I think I said prosperous, but productive and prosperous, because they have two different frequencies, you know, even though I interchange them a lot. But you can be productive in all the wrong things and really not be growing much or doing much, you know, like not yielding much to be desired. But you can be prosperous. You can only be prosperous in a high vibration of productivity. Prosperity is not a one-off thing. You could be productive and still not be prosperous. So this is the energy with the Sun of both. All right, what else we got here? We're trucking along. Can I get another row at the bottom, perhaps? Wow, this came back out. Yeah, look, they're gonna be sorry. Simps versus imps. That's the energy I'm getting. That might be the title. Oh my God. The simps is winning, honey. Apparently. According to this reading anyway. And simps, again, in the highest frequency. Not really men that just allow themselves to be as much of a doormat as insecure women. Because we're not manifesting that for anyone, including for themselves. But I'm talking about the perception of what the typical simp is, which ultimately is one that just displays in the best vibration, the highest vibration, is someone that just displays a high aptitude of emotional intelligence and is not afraid to express it. You know, whether it's their love for someone else, their feelings about things or partnerships, their devotion to a commitment or a union, their willingness to serve that partnership and to prioritize the happiness of their partner. If that's simping, then baby, what's pimping? Oh, there it is. Simping versus pimping. Okay, that's probably gonna be it. If you ask me, simping is pimping in that regard. Because that's the one that can get all my draws. Oh, gosh. Oh, what's on the bottom? I'm playing too much. All right, the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, like really left to really straddle their emotional imbalance. And it's going to be hard for energies that are not equipped, that don't have the faculty, the trained faculties to deal with their emotions. They're going to really be wishing they had taken a page out of the simp's journal. You know, because ain't nothing wrong with being emotionally intelligent, to being in tune even and accepting of your feminine nature. That's what a divine masculine makes these days, not just the macho man beating on his chest, barking orders, sleeping with everything moving, finessing women out of everything that gratifies them, having multiple women, not expressing their true feelings or emotions, but they big, but they buff, but they muscular, but they bad, but they making hella money, driving fancy cars, dressed down, all of that. But when it comes down to matters of the soul and the spirit, they're pretty much bankrupt, at case in point, pretty much, or on their way to being bankrupt, damn near at the Two of Pentacles. Like there's no value in that. And the pendulum is swinging in such a way where, hell, even these so-called ratchet women want more out of relationships for themselves than that. A lot of them are waking up to see themselves in a different light and to demand more, or to tolerate much less and be just as that's where the femininity of, like, the masculine femininity is coming into play, where females are more likely to just like dispose of men these days because they've more or less been scorned and reconditioned to do that for their own protection. And again, just not being tolerant of the buffoonery anymore. Like, we can do it too type of energy. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's productive or prosperous. However, it is what it is. And those, the females that have resorted to that frequency of life have not gotten to that point all on their own. There's a cause and effect of everything. And as I said, soon, imagine these macho men, high value men, supreme, having nothing but that dating pool to choose from. Can you imagine the chaos? Oh my gosh, I can't even. And that might be the karma itself for them to actually get to feel how it feels to be disposable. Because when a woman does what a man does, oh my God, it's far worse. And they're far more sensitive to take it because they're not really used to having to. So good luck, Chuck, on that. Exactly. The Four of Swords, like, ain't gonna have no recourse but to just lay down and take it. Take their own medicine. Wow, here it is. Two of Swords, like the females that they're not here for it. And like I said, I'm not endorsing that. That's not what I want for myself. And I think in the highest frequency, they wouldn't choose that either if there were better options or if they could perceive better options. But that's the way the pendulum swings until it's balanced out in the middle. And that actually may be the lesson and the turning point for this masculine energy to evolve, and then in turn for the feminine energy to settle back into her pure femininity, where she's open to receive again. But until then, it's, what they say, all's fair in love and war. Can't be mad at it. That's interesting. Yeah, here it is, going in turn. Now you want to go inside, huh? Now you want to soul search. Now you want to discover the depths of you. What makes you tick and what doesn't. Figure out where you misstepped in life and try to you real passionate about that. But sometimes this energy, a couple times this has come up with the Knight of Swords, and the Hermit is almost trying to like force the process in their favor. That's what ultimately is leading to this Four of Swords, where you learn quickly, oh no, you don't run this. You don't run self-discovery. You don't run soul searching and evolution. Like all you run is the initiation of that path. You have to be guided the rest of the way, because you've already been you've already exemplified that you need a tour guide. So you're not going to just it's like the man that just wants to like jump on their spiritual path and just start doing all the things that look spiritual and look evolved, but not really absorbing the intel fully, not really applying it and activating it completely. You're not going to be able to do that. No one can. No one does. No one does. When you decide that you want to have it the spirit way, you have it through the spiritual process. And the only thing you can do once you embark on that journey is decide to keep going or to stop. That's it. There's nothing else. You don't get to, it's like a roller coaster. Once you on, you on. You do not get to control the ride. Just keep all your arms and legs inside of the vehicle. But it'll be fun if you let it be. I guess, depending on if you like a thrill. Well, there's the moon. It's the thrill of your life, a very mystical one. Yeah, but once again, you can't control it. And you don't really know how long it is. You don't really know where it's leading you, except to what you have the intention for, of course. That's as far as it can actually guide you, is what you submit to allow it to do so. But at times it can be a little bit scary. It can be. But it's mainly, especially if you're going to add it for the wrong reasons. Like, consider I've said this before, I said it in the last, I think the full moon message. Getting on a roller coaster because all your friends are doing it, or they pressured you to get on, but you don't really like roller coasters, or trying to impress somebody, like you with a girl and you don't want to look like a punk, so you get on the roller coaster. It's like, that's not all the right reasons to do so, because like I said, once they strap you in, that's it. You in there. So it would definitely be most productive here to be submitted and surrendered to the process with the purest of heart as you can possibly be in a moment, because most of us get there through the process, but at least to initiate that journey with pure intentions, with positive intentions, to ultimately advance yourself. And here's the acceleration with the Eight of Wands. Like I said, it's like you creep up to the top of that first incline, that first dip, and the whole way up you're like, oh my gosh, did I really just get on this roller coaster? Like, why did I do this? But as soon as you start going down, usually that first one is the worst one, right? Once you go down that first one, everything is already flowing too fast for you to do anything else but scream. Maybe cover your eyes, I don't know, depending on what type of rider you are, if at all. But like I said, all things must come to an end, and you'd rather be on the ride of your life, riding it till the wheels fall off, than to be stuck in a karmic cycle, literally going nowhere when the lights go out, if you know what I mean. So your chances are better in the air, honestly. So it's like, man, you're going to learn today. You're going to learn one way or another how to love on this feminine energy. Yes, you are. To revere her as the object of affection, whether she's yours or otherwise. That's what it's given. That's what it's given, child. To respect that energy for all that it's worth. Just for the sheer fact that it is mystical. Okay, right here next to the moon card, which really is Pisces, but can also be Cancer, you know, and respect to all the water signs and the feminine nature of the feminine essence of intuition and love and nurturing that only really comes from a feminine energy or from your own feminine nature, even in the way that you love yourself, should be highly valued, because you know the difference between, now I don't know your upbringing or your life, but most people can reminisce on the difference between being cared for and nurtured by a man versus a woman. Who usually has the softer touch? I'll wait. So all is required, okay? Think back, reminisce a bit. Who was really nurturing who, even when it may have appeared to be the other way around? Maybe even in your own household, when you consider some of us from certain areas lived in a very patriarchal household, you know, male-dominated home. But in the end, it was mom who held all the love. Mom exuded all the love, all the nurturing. That was who you would go to for your boo-boos and to be patched up, or when you were sick, or that's who you rather go to, you know. Or if you had a particularly nurturing father, it was that essence of his feminine nature that he turned on in that moment to care for you. We all have it, we all need it, we all love it, whether we want to or not. It's now that the universe is demanding for the scales to be balanced, to put some respect on the divine feminine's name, more so on her energy, for once and for all. Well overdue, well deserved and overdue. Because this is reflection of how I said before, the masculine's been gleaning from the feminine force for a long time, growing this little garden, presenting her flowers as if she didn't grow them. Or at least as if they didn't grow them together, like he didn't have help. You know, like almost assuming a leverage over the feminine in this case. This is just figurative in the way I'm reading the energy right now, but for all intents and purposes of this story, you know, it's just time for her to be valued for her contribution, if not creativity, for all of this prosperity in spirit and in truth. And that's more than just your last relationship, your current relationship between you and your spouse, your dad, your mom, you know, even between the general masculine energy to the feminine force is even bigger than that. This is balance that is being restored from an ethereal perspective, like something much more, I don't even know how to say it, like consider like how the feminine energy, let's just say just as far back, because this is probably isn't even far enough, but just as far back as the Bible, and how most of the feminine energies weren't even hardly given names, okay, compared to the male counterparts. Or they were deduced to more subservient or side character type of energies. Even some of the main characters, of some of the best stories didn't really get the respect due that a masculine character would in the same frequency. So consider that just those couple thousand years, okay, of restoration and rebalancing that is due of what we know of and can literally like open a book and see for ourselves, not to mention what even led into that, so this is something that's being restored from eons ago. Like I said, way overdue. One more and then we out. Much needed healing for all of creation. Exactly. Three of Cups. And there's so much I could glean from that card. But let the celebration begin, finally. With feminine force not asking for anything but what she's due, which is respect and appreciation. That's it. Ain't nobody asking to be worshipped. Ain't nobody asking to be feared. Hell, you don't even have to love us if you don't feel guided to, for real, I mean, you would probably want to if you allowed yourself to in most cases, but you don't have to. It's just a matter of respect, appreciation, and also giving the feminine energy the space to be just as creative in her own right as any masculine energy has been allowed to be, without interference, without objection. And again, that's in every way, shape, and form, in every type of relationship, in every dynamic, in spirit and in truth. That is the command of the universe at this time. So anything that is contrary to that, 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords, it's already dealt with accordingly. It's already blocked and it's already banished. And the source of it with it. Oh shit. 10 of Swords. Need I say more? Okay? And those that have sense are peacefully and happily moving on to where all of the bliss that we spoke of can commence without question, without objection, without interference. And in this picture, that's man, woman, and child. So nobody's left behind, but certainly no one is admitted without just cause, or without merit, I should say. So everybody buys their own ticket. I had to go try to be extra, right? All right. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. But I'm gonna leave it there for now. And I'll chit chat with you tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful Friday. I'll probably talk about the new moon tomorrow. And yeah, we'll go from there. But certainly you could begin to prepare yourselves accordingly. Start your affirmations, your spiritual routines and regimens and rituals, whatever they may be, and call in the energy of bliss and joy and fun in all that you do. Let that be the offensive and defensive force fuel behind everything that you're intentional for in this season. Definitely hone in on that sun energy with Leo being in high effect right now to underwrite your manifestations and give them even more power than what they typically would have. Like, don't lend that energy to anything depressive, anything fearful, anything anxious, or even eager. You know, just being with the flow of the universe right now and like basking in the sun. You know, whether it's shining on you or hidden behind the clouds, it's out there. You know, by way of the season of Leo. Even at night, that energy is intense right now. Now, probably actually more than any other season before. I think I can take liberty to say that, given the solar flares that we're experiencing in the realm, the intensity of the sun, and you see the effects of that through what it's doing to the earth with the wildfires and heat waves in places that typically don't have them, and droughts and so on and so forth. It's like, just as intense and aggressive as that energy can seem to be, is also as empowering as it is too. It's just what you're in the market for and what you are conducive to ingest, you know. So yeah, anyway, thanks for listening and watching. Until next time, as always, I'll leave you with peace.